The holidays are all about sharing with family. Meals, couches, stories, grandma's secret pecan pie recipe. And now you can also share a cart with Instacart's family carts. Everyone can add what they want to one group cart from wherever they are. So you don't have to go from room to room to find out who wants cranberry sauce, or whether you should get mini marshmallows for the yams, or collecting votes for sugar cookies versus shortbread. Just share a cart. And then share the meals and the moments. Download the Instacart app and get delivery in as fast as 30 minutes. Plus, enjoy free delivery on your first 3 orders. Service fees and terms apply.
It's time to have your high five moment with High Five Casino, the top social casino where the action and real prizes never stop. Fun spins and big wins are right at your fingertips with over 1,000 games, including High Five Casino exclusives. High Five Casino is always free to play with free coins given out every 4 hours. Sign up today for a free welcome offer that can get you spinning and winning right away. Visit highfivecasino.com.
High Five Casino.
No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. Must be 21 years or older. Terms and conditions apply.
Ask me, ask Iliza anything. It's time to ask. Ask me all your questions. Leave them in the Instagram comment section. Leave them on your Twitter or leave them on your Facebook. We'll see them, we'll read them, then we'll give you answers. You know it, I've got it. I've got the answer. The answer. You ask me. I'll tell you anything. I know I'm not alone in that I have that woman thing where like I get a nice coffee and if I'm able to self-regulate and know it's too much, I'll just drag it around like a dirty carcass for like a day and a half. Like this iced coffee I got yesterday after I'd had a cup of coffee because I'm addicted to the ritual of it. And now I'm just drinking it. If you just add a little bit of ice, it refreshes it instantly. And then you get to drink from plastic in your own house.
Yeah, but the key is you have to remove the ice before you leave it alone for too long.
That is the key. But I am not a snob. I will drink just like a scraggly, sad cup of coffee. It's got to be pretty bad for me to not want it. That's all. But when people have coffee past like 1, I'm just like, what are you doing?
Well, you're a parent now. You're up earlier. But
I am up earlier, but like I think about the amount of coffee I used to drink. Like I just for some reason remember when we were shooting Righteous Gemstones, because it goes really late. You're just trying to stay awake. They would have it was craft services, so they would have coffee and they had, I don't know if is it Stoke? Is that how you pronounce that? Coffee brand that comes in the big plastic bottle. It's cold brew.
Oh, I don't
and like
know.
the PA kept having to run to the store because like everybody wanted more of it.
Nuts.
Like, and I was just chugging it down. Like there are days where you're like, I am not feeling this. And then there are days where you're like, I've had a sip and now I'll pull a truck with my teeth.
The grocery store has stopped selling my iced coffee, my vanilla iced coffee of choice. And I'm very sad because I like one that's mostly sugar.
I was going to say, was it Dunkin' Donuts?
No, they don't sell that in a ice thing. It was like coffee delights or something. International Delights vanilla flavor in a carton.
I'm sorry, were you just drinking the creamer and thinking it was coffee?
No, but
Like, it's so light.
No, but every time I try to order via like Instacart, they're like, well, there are these 6 creamers. And I'm like, no, I need to be able to drink it.
I have a hot take.
Okay.
Hot takes about podcasts. I was thinking about this the other day. Well, I was thinking about the like top male podcasters that do stand up and how hard they crush, like the sheer amount of tickets they sell.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, where is, your question is always like, where's the female version of that?
Mm-hmm.
And I think about when women get to the same place that like a lot of guys get to, it's almost always just about sex or like how dirty can I be or what a degenerate can I be or interviewing about sex. I think the only one that even scratches the surface of like a Howard Stern space is the girl from Call Her Daddy.
100% built a business from it. Yeah.
For sure. I will give her flowers. But even Howard Stern, like a lot of that, he was a good interviewer, but was hinged on like sexual things. And I was like, if I emulated the type of content, it would just be me talking about like conspiracy theories. And I was like, I don't think women by and large tune in
for the same hamster drip of information that men do. I don't think women feel this kind of loss. We're like, I got to hear about like human trafficking.
Right.
And brain pills.
I think that there is probably the Andrew Tate equivalent a little bit. And I love this person, but is like a Gwyneth Paltrow. And I don't think women turn out in droves to listen to her talk about the supplements and stuff in the same way. Like, yes, people buy them, but I think it's less entertaining for women.
Well, it's not a one-to-one thing. Like, that guy is a podcaster, human trafficker, but she is a like mogul beauty influencer, wellness, whatever you want to call it, but not a podcaster by trade. Like, that's not like the thing. It was the website. And I feel like women are more likely to tear down another woman in the name of feminism, much like liberals are more likely to tear down, or Democrats are more likely to tear down a candidate in the name of them not being perfect, which is why we have Joe Biden.
Right.
And conservative people, like, what do they say? Conservatives don't fall in love, they fall in line. And men are just like, that's my guy.
Yeah.
Who cares if he has flaws? And women are like, she used the wrong pronoun 4 years ago. She's problematic. Like, there's too many fiefdoms, which is great if you want your own fiefdom and you can carve out a little space.
Yeah, it's
But,
definitely
like-
more discerning. That's really interesting because it is more discerning. Because I think Gwyneth to me is more that, like, that's the female equivalent of conspiracy theories, where it's like all you need to do is this, and your life will be better. And
But then I think the equivalent is women who make their content about debunking bullshit like that and raging against it. But then as a woman, you're like, well, but I still do oils on my face. Like, we all call it bullshit, but because we still participate, you can never fully uplift that person. And by that same token, men will call all that, like, we'll be like, yeah, you shouldn't treat women like that, but we all kind of do it a little bit. We all kind of think these things. And so men get celebrated for it and women get torn down for it. Does that make sense?
it does. It's interesting because you think about someone like Call Her Daddy, and it's like that's so impressive to build that because it is harder to rally women. I wonder if that's a show that
I think
also
everybody
appeals
listens to that.
Right.
I bet it is. But like, I think about when you go on like a guy's podcast, it's just, you're just sitting there. I got asked to go on a podcast recently and it was just about like, what's like the scummiest story you can tell? And I was like, I don't A, want to, and B, have those. And anything I do have, I wrote about in a book or like I talked about in my 20s. But like as a married mom of two, I'm not like one time, my husband and I like to shit on each other's chests and then go to the casinos and then vape pina colada out of a stripper's pussy. Like I just don't
That's so interesting. I
live
feel
like that.
popular women's podcasts are so much more about education. Like I'm thinking like the Bechdel test. I'm thinking WikiHole. I'm thinking like Samantha Bee's podcast. All these podcasts
Stop
that are
plugging these
all
that
these
didn't
women.
pay.
I'm just saying those are like, you might remember this as like information. Like there's research. It's not just women being like, what's up? How's it going? Fam.
When there is research, if it's delivered with a spoonful of sugar, like when there is actual research,
Yeah.
I think I just feel like as a woman, when you give like a red hot take, you always run the risk of women being like, well, she said this one thing, so she's canceled forever. Like this, I always say the same women who uplift you will rip you apart if you slightly hurt their feelings in a moment.
Yeah.
Which is why I always appreciate when I make a joke and anyone is like, oh my God, I feel so called out. I feel so seen. I'm like, that's called a fucking sense of humor.
Yeah. I think that's why women, when you get them on, they're such loyal fans. Like when they're a fan, like mostly women listen to this podcast. They're very loyal. You've all listened to every episode. You've gone back. You've listened to the archive. You're leaving reviews. You know, it's a loyal fandom. I think the most loyal fandom on this earth that you can get is if you get lesbian fans.
Lesbians and, not that lesbians aren't, but lesbians, intelligent women.
Yeah, but
That's why we have so many
across the board, most loyal fans of any property. As somebody who goes to a lot of
lesbians.
conventions.
And
Yeah.
there's that male energy. There's a little bit of male energy in that. Right?
Yeah.
Not all but I feel like it's also that thing as a comedian where I'm like, your fans are always a few degrees removed from what you are. Like I think male podcasters, like, and you get like all these lunatic fans. Like Joe Rogan's a good guy. He's
and
a good guy.
He's built a business.
Smart, for sure. And then you take the average fan and he probably would not have a beer with that person, right?
Right.
And I'm like, I'm always like trying to check myself. I'm like, I don't think they want to hear me talk about this conspiracy theory and death and something weird. Like I always have to like recheck, like, what is it that they actually like? Sometimes it gets too, if I think too dark, I'm like, I don't think they want, like, I don't think this will be celebrated. Or I don't think this disgusting thing I want to do or this weird thing I want to do. And I think about my sketch show, which was weird and like nobody liked it. And so you just always remember like your art is distilled in your head and then it gets 1 degree removed every time you share it. Fall has fallen, winter is on its way, the days are shorter. But just because, well, they feel shorter. And just because the days feel shorter doesn't mean your to-do list gets any shorter. You still have to power through your busy days. And a great way to do that is with nutritious food from Factor's no prep, no mess meals. At the end of a short day in the fall or the winter, the last thing you want to do is have to cook. Factor has got you covered from breakfast, snacks, dinner, anything in between. Factor has easy, nutritious options to keep you fueled, like their chicken Florentine with spinach and garlic chili cauliflower. You bet. That's what I want to make myself at the end of a day where I am exhausted and my husband isn't home. Whether you like routine or you enjoy mixing things up, Factor has you covered with 35 different delicious meals every week and over 60 additional convenience options you can add on, like keto cookies, pressed juices, and smoothies. And because Factor meals are chef prepared and dietitian approved, you're going to love not only Factor's meals taste, but also how they support your goals, even if your goal was just making yourself dinner. Head to factormeals.com/Iliza50 and use code Iliza50 to get 50% off your first box and 20% off your next month. That's code Iliza50 at factormeals.com/Iliza50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active. The holidays are here. And for a lot of us, the holidays mean decorating, hosting, celebrating. For me, it means a lot of traveling, and nothing feels better year-round, but especially during the cozy holidays, than a restful night's sleep in soft, luxurious sheets. Boll & Branch's signature sheets are made with the finest 100% organic cotton, and they get softer with every single wash. You already know that I got Boll & Branch this summer when I needed breathable sheets to sleep in, but this holiday season, I'm actually gifting some of my friends and family Boll & Branch's Ultimate Softness Bundle. I get to choose a signature hem sheet set in any color, a signature hem pillow set, and a waffle bed blanket. And they're all getting juniper because I think it's a classy color. This way you know you have something nice to sleep on when you visit. It's the perfect gift for you and them. Gift you and your loved ones a better night's sleep with Boll & Branch. And right now is their best offer of the entire year. For 25% off plus free shipping on your first set of sheets, head to bollandbranch.com/Iliza. That's Boll & Branch, BOLLAND branch.com/Iliza for 25% off. Limited time only, exclusions apply. See site for details. So finally, fall is here. I have been looking forward to it. I have had a hard year in a good way. You know, like I had a baby. I have been on a nonstop tour, nonstop traveling, and it's been hot. So I'm looking forward to, of course, pumpkin spice, everything, cooler weather, and slipping into a cozy sweater from Quince. I've talked about Quince before. Quince has beautiful leather jackets, cotton cardigans, soft denim, and so much more. All Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. Dressing expensive doesn't have to be expensive. Their clothing is beautiful, it's durable, it stands the test of time, and it's what I like to call a capsule wardrobe. I got an Italian wool cocoon coat. That's one of those, you know, it's got like a European collar and it covers my butt so I can walk around New York City and not be chilly. And Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices. Get cozy in Quince's high-quality wardrobe essentials. Go to quince.com/Iliza for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/Iliza to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/Iliza.
Do you think, like when I think about your fan base, I'm stuck in kind of maybe your 10 years ago fan base, which was younger women. Do you think your fan base has matured with you, or do you think you're still speaking to younger people to an equal extent?
I think it's both, but I do think when you're young, you naturally gravitate toward things that are young because you want to see yourself. But I do think it's matured with me. And I think I might have to catch up. Like I might have to talk about my kids. Although I did get a disgusting message from a fan once that was like, "You're not going to talk about your kids now, are you?" And I'm like, "You're right. We'll just talk about Jaeger bombs and hand jobs till the wheels fall off."
I mean, it is an interesting thing to think about as someone who I don't intend to ever have children. And I think when my friends tell me that they're having a kid, the first few times that happened, there was an initial thought of, oh, like things are going to be different with us now. Like we're never going to connect in the same way, right? Like you're just always going to be in a different stage of life. And I think I'm starting to get past that as friends who have kids. I'm just able to continue hanging out with them, but it changes your relationships with people.
It does. It does. But I think it's always about like being cognizant of like nobody wants to hear only about your kids. Although when men do it, somehow it's okay. But finding the comedy in it.
He knows his kid. Cool.
He's actively parenting his kid. But I do think my fans have grown with me.
Yeah.
But even though those that like, it's not even about having kids. It's just, I don't know. I think I'm very lucky to have the fans that I have.
Yeah.
I'd rather have loyal fans than fans that are like fair weather fans that won't be there in 5 years.
I think that's an interesting part of this podcast specifically is you are never doing this podcast, and I doubt you ever will do this podcast to appeal to become a big podcast. You're not like, oh, I need to just make this podcast the biggest it can be. You are doing the podcast you want to do, speaking to the audience that you have. Like you could totally sell out and make it gross or make it talk about.
I can't. I've tried.
Right.
I try. No,
it doesn't.
But also, like, even my mom was like, "Why don't you have a guest for your 300th episode?" She's like, "Why don't you have a man?" And I'm like, "You're right. We never have men. Every once in a while, there's Noah." And I was like, "It's not about men or a guest." I was just like, booking guests. The whole reason we have this format is because booking a guest is incredibly hard. And at a certain point, then you're just interviewing like the same people over and over.
Booking a guest when you have an active career elsewhere is hard.
That's right.
If this was all you did, it would be different.
That's what, or we had like a booker dedicated. We do a specific thing here. It's not that we're too good. I don't want to hear everybody talk. Sorry. You guys loved Rebecca. You loved Dr. Kate. There's certain people that crush it.
Yeah.
So I'll just keep looking for those.
I'm going to go through all the famous people that follow you on Instagram and start making demands.
There you go. I also feel like it's hard to get men on this because they don't get, I'm not that we've asked, but like they don't get passionate. Like girls get granular and guys will be like, yeah, just call her up and say you don't want to.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that easy. Ryan.
Noah people love when he's on this show, but his approach is so different than yours. It's very reasonable.
Because men don't live in a world of consequences, emotional consequences. Speaking of, let's get to your wedding question.
No, we have to fight first.
Oh, we got to fight. I forgot. Let me put on my pants.
Here's my hot take. New Jersey is very nice. Everyone calls it the armpit of America because they flew through Newark Airport, looked out the window, saw some industrialized wetlands and nuclear reactors. And yeah, that's not cute. But Jersey is more than the view from the airport. In reality, New Jersey is a lovely place to live. You've got beaches, you've got mountains, you've got beautiful nature reserves. And New York and Philly are each 45 minutes away. You know what's 45 minutes away from LA? LA. Also, the small towns here are everything you want out of small town America. Thriving main streets, small independent businesses, diverse populations, great schools, great parks, great restaurants. Now, I've lived outside of New Jersey, different regions of the country, even abroad, and I travel to different places for work all the time. But I just moved back to Jersey after a few years in the Midwest, and it's just great. It's not that all other places are bad, but Jersey just does not deserve all the hate it gets. So that's my take. New Jersey is a very nice place. Fight me.
So that is from our
First of all,
that is from our listener, Will. They, them. Will, I think it's so funny, submitted a tourism ad.
First, I was like, are they reading this? Because if you just did that from memory, that's pretty impressive. I did expect a little bit more edge. Like, fight me on this.
With such a strong accent. And I was like, yes, Will,
I
let's
did, yes.
fight. And then it kind of went away and was just very pleasant.
Okay. First of all, you're right. It's the Garden State. It is a beautiful state. It is a lot of green. There are some gorgeous, actually not gorgeous. There are some like Real Housewives of New Jersey, big McMansions, but there are some gorgeous parts of New Jersey and there are some beautiful houses and beautiful neighborhoods. And I have a lot of friends that grew up there. And I think when you think of New Jersey, it's contextualized within movies and it's like Bridge and Tunnel, like, yeah, I'm from Jersey. Remember that was a joke? I think part of it is that this is such a dated reference because he was on SNL before I was even born. Joe Piscopo, when he was on SNL, had this character that was like, you from Jersey? I'm from Jersey. You from Jersey? Like, they always find each other. But where I will fight you, because that, you did that. You're like, not that other places aren't great. And then you shit on Los Angeles. Let me tell you something, Will. 45 minutes outside of LA, it depends on the direction you drive. But you could be in Malibu, which is, the hills of Topanga, which is where they shot the opening sequence of MASH. I'm only doing references from the 70s today. Yeah, that's where they shot that. You could be at the hills. You could be at the beach. So don't just make yourself feel better just because you happen to live near an airport hub 45 minutes outside of LA. While it can be city of industry putrid, it can also be absolutely exquisite. And you're like, where am I? So check it out, Malibu. I was at Big Bear, but it's a little far. But you're right.
What's that quote that like New York hates LA and LA doesn't think about New York at all?
That's from my stand-up?
No. Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Did you say that?
I always talk about, I do.
Quoting you?
Yeah, I'm always like, New York does not sweat LA. My whole joke is that for the longest time, I don't think people do it anymore, but like millennials, when you'd fly to New York, if you live in LA, you do the less than sign, but it really means like an arrow. They'd be like New York, LA, like LAX to JFK.
NYC bound.
NYC, you guys, bi-coastal, bipolar. And then, I was like, you know what you never see? New York people, they're always like, I got to go to fucking LA this weekend. Like, it's never like, check it out, I'm in LA. Because everyone's like, okay, we're the culture capital of the world.
I want to offer up for any Gen Z comedian, you should name your special bi-coastal bipolar. That's I feel like that's a good. I feel like I would see that scrolling through the streamers.
And it can just be one more thing you stole from me and pretended it was your own bit of comedy.
Do you ever
I was gonna say, don't advertise New Jersey. You don't want people to move to your state. We don't want LA's full. Everything's full. Just stay where you are and figure it out. What?
Do you ever trademark any of your bits? Do you ever try to like legally or no, you can't?
You can't.
Yeah, it's a pain.
Shout out. Yeah, you can't. Fortunately, unfortunately for this one Colombian comic. When I say Colombian, I mean like Spanish in Colombia, did my bit about creating a breakup verbatim in Espanol. And I saw a clip of it. The whole what's my middle name? And I was like, do we like call Comedy Central de Comedia? Like in Colombia? Because it was a clip like on a professional website. And I was like, I don't know why you thought the internet didn't reach America, but like you're a fucking hack in any language. So that's not a great way to start your career. Can I trademark Party Goblin? I've trademarked Party Goblin. I'm actually looking at the United States Patent and Trademark Office. So I guess that would be more like if somebody tried to do a cartoon or something major. I'd be like, I have Party Goblin.
Right. But you can't trademark like it's fall, motherfuckers, because that's just words.
Right. Here, I'll read it to you. Class 41. I'm sure there's a patent lawyer listening to this. Entertainment services in the nature of live stage performance by a fictional character in the field of comedy. Entertainment service in the nature of television programming featuring a fictional character in the field of comedy. Okay. I'll tell you what, I wish someone did do it. That way I could just sue them and I wouldn't have to create anything. Just sit back and let that $4,500 check roll in.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll help the people now. I try to ask my boss yes or no questions. I've learned to go with the flow. But is it okay to push/ask more than twice when I get nothing in response to something like, can only one person review these postings on the website? I'm getting confused because I cannot tell if this is the first version or a revised version. Instead of an answer I get, here is what I did. If I repeat the question, she repeats what she did. Other questions include, if there's no schedule by end of workday Friday, should I come in Monday? Boss. Usually the schedule is posted Thursday. Me. I've been here 3 months and it's never been posted Thursday. So should I come in? Boss. It was just this time that it was late. Me. Well, you doxed me in my review that I should have come in on Monday when the reason was that the schedule was late. Boss snaps angrily. Fine, just don't come in. This is a corporate job, by the way, not smart and final. Stupid to post a schedule that late.
This is ridiculous. You need to sit down with your boss and just be like, I'm not, what you're not liking is how curt your boss is. And you don't respect your boss because you're saying, first of all, you make sure you're right. Like, make sure things like, oh, it really is never posted. Otherwise, you're going to look pedantic. So, but all these problems seem to be over email. Sounds like you have to have like a one-on-one chit chat.
Yeah, it's a communication issue. I will say this, the one thing I get dinged for at work, and Iliza, you can weigh in on if you agree with this ding at my current job. My emails are too long and people don't like that because I try to think through every possible objection or question the person's going to have. And I lay it out like, here's the question. Here's what I think you're going to think. And here's my answer to that. And my boss is like, just ask the question because we don't want to read all that. I'm like, fair. When you ask someone 3 questions, they only answer the first one, usually. You just have to communicate in such a way that they give you what you need.
Try color coding it. Be like, first question, second question, third question.
Bullet points.
Or just talk to them in person. It might just be that like over email, you or this person are not good communicators.
Yeah.
Because that is so frustrating, especially over text. When someone's like, hey, did you want to do this? Da-da-da, and da-da-da. And they're like, yes. And you're like, okay, I don't want to look like a crazy person, but you definitely didn't. Oh, we were on a WhatsApp thread and it was another celebrity. And I was like, hey, so-and-so would love your contact info. We're doing an event. And they just wrote like, I'm in. And I was like, but I didn't tell you when it was.
Right.
What it was for. Like,
also, can I give your info to someone? Like,
it is a frustrating thing when you're talking to someone and you text them something and they're just like, what, like, love it.
Yeah.
LOL. And you're like, it was a link to an article about ancient Rome. Like, have it. Doing it now. Ha ha.
You know what I do though every time? And it's like, what Insanity's doing the same thing and expecting different results. Every time I tell you, I am not free X hours. I'm free Y hours. You go, great. I can do X hours. And I'm like, no, that's
you want to know why?
one time. So I need to phrase it in a way that you read it, which is just, I can do this time or this time.
That's right. Because it's too long.
Exactly.
And when I see numbers, like my mind starts to melt. Like you'll be like, what you're doing is thorough. You'll be like, I'm available Monday before 11. And you always put it in my time, before 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, between 12 and 1, Tuesday. And you're just like, I can't. And then I try to answer it. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I messed up. I saw 12. I thought you meant 12. You're like, you said not 12. And I'm like, but I saw the 12.
I know. And I'm saying that this is a problem for me at work. And so it's like, you're at a certain point, because at a certain point, you have to know who you're communicating with and how to communicate with that person. Now, this person's boss is just trying to get out of doing their job, basically. They're like, I'll post the schedule when I post it, idiot.
You guys have so many awful bosses. You have so many dumb bosses that people write in about. I will tell you also, it doesn't bother me as much as I get a delight off how dumb people are. People who are stupid trying to sound professional.
Oh.
Due to the circumstantial writing of this email, I will be presenting henceforth what to for email seen below as an attachment. Thank you so much. It's sincerely Requiem. Like, it's just like, if you're an idiot, just use bullet points.
Yeah. That's what I was told to use bullet points at work. And I was like, great. All my bullets are 6 sentences. And I'm just like, I know this isn't what you wanted.
Yeah. What I never want to read is due to. Like DUETO. Like due to, you're like, that's something bad. No one's ever like, due to how good I feel today, I'm giving you a raise. So I was like, due to a conflict,
due to
my
your
assistant will not be.
incredible performance. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody sleeps, but no two people sleep alike. At Coop Sleep Goods, we celebrate the way you sleep differently. We believe everyone deserves a great night's sleep with their own pillow. And the adjustable, customizable Coop pillow makes it easy. Whether you're a side sleeper, back sleeper, or even a starfish, we've got the perfect pillow for you. Crafted with our innovative memory foam and microfiber fill, our hypoallergenic pillows adjust to you, not the other way around. Just tailor the fill for the perfect fit. Add some in, take some out, until your pillow's just right for you. See why luxury hotels and spas worldwide feature Coop Sleep Goods and why we have tens of thousands of 5-star reviews. With our 100-night risk-free trial, you've got nothing to lose, except those sleepless nights. Get up to 50% off selected items during our Black Friday Cyber Monday sale when you visit coopsleepgoods.com/comedy. That's COOP sleepgoods.com/comedy.
Why get all your holiday decorations delivered through Instacart? Because maybe you only bought 2 wreaths, but have 12 windows. Or maybe your toddler got very eager with the advent calendar. Or maybe the inflatable snowman didn't make it through the snowstorm. Or maybe the twinkle lights aren't twinkling. Whatever the reason this season, Instacart's here for hosts and their whole holiday haul. Get decorations from the Home Depot, CVS, and more through Instacart and enjoy free delivery on your first 3 orders. Service fees and terms apply.
Dear AIA crew, my husband of all people introduced me to your stand-up. We love a good, ugly bra bit. Anyway, we love the pod and often save up episodes to listen to on long drives together. I'm excited to be writing in as a first-time question asker. I am a 32-year-old female from a small city between Toronto and Ottawa in Canada. Does that give you anything mentally, Iliza? That means nothing to me.
Just fields. Just a lot of land.
I need help with an awkward gal friends situation. I've been close friends with a group of 5 other girls since high school. Okay, she's now 32, so that's a solid amount of time. We've been there for each other for weddings and other exciting milestones. We typically get together as a group 2 to 3 times per year. We also have an ongoing group message thread, which we connect on almost daily. It means a lot to me that despite us growing in different directions and most of us living in different cities, these friendships have carried on strong for nearly 2 decades. Here's the awkward context part. One of the girls in the group, let's call her friend number 1, loves celebrating her birthday. I mean, loves it. For as long as we've been friends, it's a known fact that come summertime, we'll be required to suit up in heels and a dress and head out to whatever birthday activities friend number 1 has decided on for that year. It used to involve a photo shoot by a busy lakeside trail downtown, cringe. But in recent years has mostly just been dinner at a fancy restaurant. You're probably thinking, a nice dinner with your close friends. What could be awkward about that? Well, it all comes down to friend number 1. She typically abstains from drinking socially or at other events. This is fine, but every year at her birthday dinner, she orders 2 to 3 drinks and is uncomfortably intoxicated by the end of the meal. From the dirty jokes she tells the server that are incomprehensible through her giggling to asking for a refill on free bread, not 1, not 2, but 3 times.
Who's eating that much bread and still getting drunk?
I know. Balance it out. And loudly exclaiming, no, we're getting it. I want more leftovers. When one of us chimes in, we don't need more bread, to licking bowls and plates clean, literally licking them. It all gets to be way too much. Every year, we're always the last ones in the restaurant, patiently waiting while she finishes what she wants with the 3 desserts she ordered and packs up her 5 to 7 takeout containers. This is not an exaggeration. Other friends in the group have shared that, like me, they tip over 20% because of how uncomfortable they feel for the server and because we know she doesn't tend to leave much of a tip. This year, we had the same server as the previous year.
Why is she tipping at all? It's her birthday. It's her birthday. You guys...
Yeah.
What was that face?
Well, we'll finish the question. I can't participate for only the first part of dinner and then excuse myself when things get uncomfortable because my friends are always late. This year, I tried showing up late to visit with the group for only desserts and a final drink. My plan was foiled when friend 1 took longer than everyone else to get ready, and the group didn't arrive to the restaurant until 30 minutes into the reservation time. They'd only just ordered dinner when I arrived. My question. How do I respectfully tell friend 1 her annual actions on her special day make me uncomfortable to the point I don't want to participate anymore? Other friends of the group have shared the same sentiments with me, and we're all left feeling unsure of what to do. One friend of the group told me she doesn't think she can take another year of this. I love friend number 1, and I love seeing the group. Since we only get together 2 to 3 times per year, I really don't want to cut out one of the rare opportunities we have to connect. I should also note, friend one is sort of like the glue for our group. She's often the one initiating group plans and group messages. While I appreciate that, I also noticed in the last 10 years, we've only celebrated the birthday of another girlfriend in the group once because it's 2 weeks after friend number one's birthday. It always gets overshadowed by what friend number one wants and plans. Friend one is single and lives alone in a small town. She wears her feelings on her sleeve. And I know these annual celebrations mean the world to her. How do I nicely say, I love you, but I'm embarrassed? Sincerely, an anonymous Canadian gal trying to keep her cool.
I was going to say, I don't think she is with anyone because that behavior like smacks of like, I finally get to make something about me. I bet all the friends in your group are married or have long-term relationships. And she's probably like the fact that she doesn't drink and like saves up her powers for that one night is very sad.
There's something about, look, it sounds like you're all paying for yourselves individually. You're not
Emily's
paying
like,
for
look,
her.
Emily's like, look, as this friend.
I think that, okay.
I meant because of the alcohol, not because you're single. I meant because of like saving it up for like an alcoholic chocolate sundae.
I have one drink and I'm like, woo, big day. I feel bad for this person. I think you give her this one night a year. It sounds like, look, unless you're all feeling uncomfortable, so clearly I'm missing something. I get it. People are awkward. Waiters deal with a lot worse. She's not tipping that great, but you're also all going out for her birthday dinner and not buying her meal. Like, okay, fine. She's getting multiple desserts and stuff. You're all tipping. The waiter, like, people hold up the restaurant sometimes. I'm not saying this is the best behavior, but once a year for her to be kind of awkward at a dinner out is like, she just let her have this. Am I wrong? Am I crazy?
No, I mean, I wasn't going to say that, but you have two options. And by the way, you have to broach it while she's sober. Otherwise, like, she will end up crying.
Oh, yeah. Not at the birthday.
Yeah. Into her like crab pina colada.
Ugh.
And it's tough because you don't want to look like you're all ganging up on her, and then she will reveal to you like, you guys all have like boyfriends or kids, and like I don't. I live in a small town. This is her. She's trying to hold on to her youth, hold on to what you guys had. She's not hurting anyone. You either tell her ahead of time, be like, you just get crazy and it's embarrassing, or you decide like, this is our friend. It's kind of funny. I know that you're Canadian. So all you want to do is say sorry. You go up to that waiter ahead of time. You tip them ahead of time and you say, I'm going to let you know our friend is a really bad drinker. We are sorry, but we're all in this together. Like, she's not doing anything horrific. Like, she's just being, and you know what? You can even, when she's doing, if she's telling a joke that's like really making the waiter uncomfortable, like, first of all, sack up, unless it's like deeply racist.
Right. Is she hateful or is she just awkward?
Right. And you know what? Like, it's just drink. I don't think it's a huge deal. I think at the core, you are growing apart from this friend and their behavior, and it's like a little immature. And so I'm sure it's not a big deal to just endure it one day a year. But you're just not in that same place.
Well, You're saying you're not celebrating the other friend's birthday who's 2 weeks later. Whose fault is that? This woman isn't saying you can only celebrate my birthday. Set up something for the other friend 2 weeks later. Like, you guys only get together 2 to 3 times a year. One of those is this one woman's birthday that like keeps like hang out more then. And this won't be such a like once a year thing. Celebrate this other girl's birthday or take her to somewhere where it's like a prefix menu where she's,
or take her to a bar.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird. I think the tacky part is that she's ordering so much food to go. I think it's less the awkward. I don't think awkward is the word. I think the behavior is trashy and you're just like, I don't want waiters to think this is
very
she's
drunk at a nice restaurant. Yeah.
Right. So either you have two choices, either get over it or go along for the ride. Like, either tell her it's not cool, but I get it because, like, some people can't hear that. Like, you act a certain way. I mean, the good news is if you tell her how you feel gently and she's like, fine, then we won't do it. You're like, great.
I wonder if you can go to like the nice restaurant, right? But say there's an after event either at a bar, at like a David Buster's,
That's
at
right.
somewhere with a riding bull, something where you go, let's go get drunk and do an activity after this.
That's
like,
right.
We're,
It sounds like
being
she needs to get it
part
out.
of it. Yeah.
There you go.
After dinner, after we eat 17 pieces of bread.
You might have to go to Western Canada for that or Central Canada, but still, I'm sure they got something between, what was it? Ottawa and Toronto.
Also, asking for refills of bread when you're also ordering 8 items is fine. If she ordered no food or ordered like a kid's grilled cheese and then got 4 things of free bread, that's tacky. But if she's also drinking and eating, I don't care how much free bread she gets.
It's bread. And you should be thankful she's eating bread to soak up some of that daiquiri.
Imagine how bad it would be if she wasn't.
So that's it.
Yeah.
And then just hope that she, casually passes out and you don't have to deal with it. I feel bad for her.
I do too. I did not expect to be on the side of the belligerent drunk, but I think she just.
But that's how much we don't like you. Yeah. No.
Hello, gang. Much love to the pod. Can't wait for the 300th episode and hopefully for a video component of the podcast.
Yes.
Advice needed. I, 28 female, am married to my husband, 32 male, who has a brother, 38 male. His brother is getting divorced and they have 2 kids. Wife isn't a great person, to say the least. And I'm not trying to hate on women. I genuinely don't think she is a good person.
You are allowed to say that without people.
Yeah.
You're allowed to have an opinion.
When my husband visited their house for 2 weeks, the only time she talked to him was when his mom came to visit. They've tried couples counseling and she hasn't admitted that anything could be her fault. I don't know them very well, as we have lived across the country the whole time I've been with my husband. I met the brother 3 or 4 times and the wife once. A month or so ago, his brother asked for $500 because he needed money and wasn't getting paid until the 1st. It was the middle of the month when he asked. We sent him the money and he paid us back when he said he would. My husband and I share finances. His brother asked my husband again for money for the attorney consultation for the divorce. He said he'll pay us back when the house refinance money comes through. I feel really bad for him. I can't imagine getting a divorce with 2 kids. It's got to be super rough. His whole life is going to change. I told my husband weeks ago, tell your brother to start taking money out of the ATM in small amounts so he'll have some for later. His brother and wife have a joint and then separate accounts. I don't know if that's out. Not sure if we ever told him that or not. Here we are. I don't want to be treated like his personal ATM, and lending family money is usually not a good idea from what I've heard. But I'm worried if I will come across as a total bitch if I say no and don't keep sending him money when he asks. My husband and I are going to talk when he gets home from work about what happens if he keeps asking for money, but am I being an asshole and a total bitch for not wanting to let his brother keep borrowing money? To me, it seems like his brother has a bigger money/budgeting issue that is not magically going to go away. Divorces are expensive and he will be having to pay attorney's fees on top of everything else. His brother's in the process of getting a job and gets retirement money each month from the military. To me, I'm like, why did he not think about this before he told his wife he wanted a divorce? He's not an idiot, and I'm not sure why he didn't think ahead. I don't want to continue to lend him money because I don't want to be his personal ATM. We're trying to save our money. Lending people money makes me uncomfortable. I don't like owing people things or being indebted to them. Maybe I'm being too harsh. Thanks in advance, Courtney.
Has he paid back?
So, okay.
All the money he ever borrowed?
That's what I'm wondering. The first time, yes. The second time, maybe we haven't given him money. I do think this is a weird line of, look, you don't give family money that you're expecting it back, but also he did pay you back the first time, but you don't want this to become a habit.
Well, I can't quite figure out, and that is he is a grown man. You were man enough to have 2 children and you have the wherewithal to get a divorce. Yes, these things are expensive. I think your bigger issue is I don't like that you keep tapping me to give you money to hold you over, even though you're paying me back. And I think your fear is one of those paybacks won't get done. It'll slip through the cracks.
This is not sustainable. Yeah.
And you're also saying you do have the money, and if it is a question of money flow, it's well, if we give you money one time, then that should be enough for you to get enough money that you can always pay yourself. So I think your issue is more why do we have to keep giving you the money to get you to where you have to go? And you're also saying it doesn't seem like you guys are that close. Your commentary on the divorce is irrelevant because you don't know if this woman's awful. Clearly, this guy's not the brightest. Maybe the wife was like, yeah, you never plan for the future. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if he did everything wrong.
Yeah.
Regardless of what it is, it has to come from your husband to him. And you're not a bitch.
Yeah.
Even if you don't want to give him another $1, you're not a bitch.
Yeah.
But it does seem like he is paying you back. I do think you're within your rights too, after like 1 or 2 times to be like, hey, dude, like we don't want to do this.
Right. The like scientific inquiry version outside of the real world is you lend him money and see when he stops paying you back. But in the real world, it's like, no, then you're out money. So
I think you got to get to the root of it.
Yeah.
You got to get to the root of what's bothering you, because I don't think it's the money. I think it's the fact that he's a grown man that keeps needing like a little bit of help.
Right.
And it's not like he's like a drug addict or an artist and he's like, oh my God, I've almost gotten my dream. Can you just help me? You're like, you can do this and you have money.
He's not about to get like a windfall. It's not like there's not a known end point in sight.
That's right. I think your fear is that you keep doing this and then all of a sudden it doesn't get paid back and now it's weird.
Yeah.
So I'd also like to know if he paid you back that last time you're talking about. But regardless, it's got to come from your husband.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is just also you are enabling a behavior after a certain point. He's like, oh, I could just ask my brother and then it becomes normal. And you're right. So you don't want to be an ATM. Ugh.
Iliza, here's a question I've always wondered about. Do you wear the same outfit for each show on your tour or do you mix it up? I think I've overthought this, but I'm super curious. Love the podcast, Marianne.
It's a great question, Marianne. It's the same outfit. I find, when people go to school and you have uniforms, a big part of the reason you do a uniform, especially at like a college preparatory school, is so you don't spend time wasting mental energy on what am I going to wear, and you have more time to focus on other things. And while I do enjoy picking out outfits, when I'm on tour, especially if we have like multiple cities, the time I save by just having one tour t-shirt, not only do you see how cute the shirt is because I'm wearing it, but of course I wash it when I get home, but like it's just the one shirt. I don't have to pack clothes. That means I have more room in my suitcase for souvenirs and all the cool things you guys give me, and 2 pairs of shoes. But yes, it's one less thing to think about. I usually do that and a pair of black jeans and we're done.
What's your current shirt?
We just designed it. The new tour shirt has all the cities listed in a really cool way on the back, and the front is like a rave candy friendship bracelet that says Iliza and like on the pocket. It's super cute.
Yeah, that's cool.
I'm pumped. We have a lot of great merch in addition to like sweatshirts and stuff like that. So
in addition to, I'm pro merch sweatshirt. I just got two different sweatshirts and it's 100 degrees here.
It's 100 degrees. 90s crew neck sweatshirts are so cool. I think they make me look a little big in the shoulders, but they're really comfy.
That is such a good design. A 90s crew neck. Ugh.
We're playing the Fox in Atlanta, so I will. I'll give you a discount, Emily. No, I will.
Can I get 20% off?
Yeah. Promo code expires soon. Use code WISH. I will get you one. They're blue. They're baby blue. Should I show it to you now just so you can get a genuine reaction? Or hold on.
I think that's an interesting part of the business that you are very good at.
I mean, I think the merch matters, and I think making a product that we're proud of.
You're very careful to design things that you yourself would actually wear.
That's right.
Yeah, I love that. That's great.
Isn't that fun and whimsical and like a little
I love the
steak
colors.
fairy?
Yeah, because it's all I also like all your merch is very often designed. It's not like, oh, yeah.
I design it with the designers. This is all my heart. And then they make it real.
Well, and you design it where it's like something people actually want to wear more than it is an advertisement for yourself, right? Because the advertisement for yourself would be big you face, big you name, tour, right? But you're designing things that people look at it and on first glance, they might not know it's Iliza merch. They're just like, oh, that's a cool shirt.
Well, because then what's great is then people ask and then you have a conversation and then oh my God, I'm a fan. Oh, I hate her. And so you get into that. We have a couple of really cool merch items in the vein of Get Ready. And we also have specific posters for certain cities. Ooh. And I'm very excited. Salt Lake City, I'm very proud of our poster for you, including we have New York. We have a bunch of Canadian ones where Tianfu is the horse that a Mountie is on. So come on out and see if we did a special one for your city.
Shampoo. All right. Next email is called Parenting Pickle. And I just like those two words together. Hi, AIA crew. Please keep this anonymous, as it is unclear to me how many AIA fans are moms that live in my school district.
Ooh.
A longtime listener, first-time question asker, Iliza, I saw you years ago at an improv club in Pittsburgh, and you took a picture with my husband and I after Blanche was there. Your set was great. I love your Netflix specials, and I look forward to seeing you the next time you're in Pittsburgh.
Go Steelers.
I don't know when that's going to be. Yeah. Oh, wow.
This question is about what happens when parenting becomes more complicated than why have you wiped your butt with your bare hand post-poop and wiped it on your arm?
Oh, God, you must have a boy.
My son, 6 male, let's call him Jeff, just finished his first year of kindergarten. So this summer will be filled with me setting up play dates. One kid, let's call him Sam, and my son get along great. We plan to do weekly get-togethers at the park over the summer. We ran into another family we know at the park last week, and their son was also in my son and Sam's class. So I mentioned next time we could all get together. The problem, this other kid, let's call him Max, apparently doesn't really get along with Jeff or Sam. I talked to Sam's mom, and she said Sam and Max have had virtually daily issues throughout the school year. I learned this after I made the comment that we should all get together again. Jeff just says Max is, quote, mean, but hasn't really elaborated on that. Max's mom seems nice, and I'm trying to meet more parents and get integrated into my community. Now, this is not a full-on problem yet because I plan to do what I do with all my problems, and that's ignore them for as long as possible and push my anxiety about them deep down. Max's mom has not reached out about a play date as of this writing, so I was just going to not say anything. I'm wondering what I should say if Max's mom does ask for a play date. I really don't want to subject my son to someone who he doesn't like just to keep the peace. At the same time, I don't want to demonize or exclude a 6-year-old or his family. I don't know what I'd say to the mom if I were to tell her we can't do a play date because my kid doesn't like hers. Should I tell her like it is? Should I just set up play dates with our whole families and let the chips fall where they may? I will say, even though we ran into the other family at the park, Jeff and Sam didn't really play with Max while we were there, but everyone seemed to have fun, including all 3 boys. Thank you for brightening up my Wednesday. Sincerely, Anonymous. Okay, a little more context.
Okay.
All parents in this story work, so these kids have been in the same before-school program, after-school program, and kindergarten class all year long. Jeff
so
and
your
Max,
kids had plenty of time to really know that he doesn't like this kid.
Yeah. Jeff and Max will be together at a summer camp program all summer while Sam is going to a different program. So Jeff and Max will keep seeing each other throughout the summer regardless, but play dates are the only way Jeff and Sam can see each other. Wait, let me make sure which kid is the good kid. Okay, Sam's the good kid.
Jeff is her kid. Sam is the good kid. Max is the one they don't like, but her kid and Max, okay.
Are going to be together. Sam is an only child, so playdates might be more important to his parents than they are for us. I have 3 kids, and Jeff is the oldest, so it feels like we're always on our own family playdate.
It's okay that you brought it up. Never bring it up again.
Yep.
If she does, it is not the biggest deal. You also don't know, like little kids, like of course they're intuitive and they pick up on things, but like it could have been like Sarah doesn't like a kid named Ari. And I'm like, why? She's like, because he knocked his tower over or like he spilled his crayons, you know, like,
oh no,
like he's just being a little boy. Like he didn't, it's not like Ari like broke a cat's neck or something because I was like, she's like, I don't like him. And I've never heard her say that. And I'm like, why? She's like, he spilled his crayons. You're like, oh, put him in jail. Yeah. So of course you want to listen to your kids. I think I think you do nothing, which is fine. And it sounds like you threw it out there. Everybody's busy. Nobody's like holding you to it. If the mom's like, let's get a play date together, get everyone together and keep an eye out and see, is this kid a little weird? Does he do something wrong? Are your 2 boys like kind of just being like exclusionary? Yeah. So just see it with your own eyes first. And then if there is something weird or that kid is aggressive, there is nothing wrong. First of all, let the chips fall where they might. I'm a big fan of like at a playground. I've definitely been with Sierra and like a little kid will butt in front of her and I look at the other parent, I say nothing because there is a natural order to things. Sometimes boys are more aggressive than you don't know. Unless your kid is hurting my kid, I let them work it out.
Yeah.
She's got to learn to stand up for herself. And if she doesn't want to in that moment, that's okay too. Unless like someone is being unsafe, assess it. And if your kid really hates it and it's bad and the mom asks you to be like, I feel like I saw some tension between the boys. So hopefully a mom would understand that. Yeah. It might hurt her feelings, but like your kid's feelings come first. But say nothing and then see it with your own eyes. That's what I would do.
The key would be going and doing a park or a bounce house or those trampoline parks, somewhere where the kid, don't just have the other kid over to your house so your two kids are forced. Go somewhere where there's an activity where they can kind of do it on their own if they want.
And if they come back and he's like, oh, like if they have that complaint again in a new environment, I mean, also, like just because they're little doesn't mean they all get along.
Yeah.
Little personalities, little pants.
Okay, this email's title, they really want to get our attention. Bridesmaids drama, different than what you had before. All right.
All right.
Hi, Liza and Emily. I have a bridesmaids drama question for you that is different than what you have had in the past. I, female 27, was the matron of honor and my best friend of 13 years, female 26, wedding 2 years ago. So they've been friends since
24 and 25.
26 and 27.
20. No, but they got 2 years ago. So she was 25 and she was 24.
Oh, when they got married?
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay.
She had her childhood best friend, female 26, as her maid of honor. I had a very surface level relationship with the other maid of honor. We really only had our friend in common. We were set to split the maid of honor duties. I was going to play in the bridal shower, as that is more my speed, and she was going to do the bachelorette party, much more her speed. Our respective parties went off without a hitch, and we were working great together. Fast forward to the day before the wedding. The venue was the type where everything had to be set up by the bride and groom and was 2.5 hours away from where we all live. The bridal party was asked to help if we could with setup. Me and my husband both went early to set up. The other maid of honor said she didn't have enough PTO, which was no problem. Fast forward 3 months after the wedding, it comes to light that the other maid of honor was able to get off the day before. She just instead met up with a guy we met at the bachelorette party that lived 10 minutes from the venue. She cheated on her boyfriend of 5 years, who was at the wedding, instead of helping set up. I was livid when I found out and still am. I don't really care about her cheating on her boyfriend. That's her issue. But the fact that me and the rest of the wedding party were busting our ass while she fucked some dude makes me irate. For some more context, I spent 12 hours setting up the barn, was the go-to person for the wedding coordinator, and even ended up driving 5 hours round trip the night before the wedding to go get stuff the bride forgot for the big day. My husband, who had only met my friend a handful of times, was also running errands all day for this wedding. I see the other maid of honor maybe 8 times a year. That's a lot. And every time I see her, all I can think about is what she did and how mad I am about it. How do I move on and put this behind me? The bride is also still very pissed as well, but is working on putting it behind her. Thank you so much for all your wisdom.
Maid of honor was in a very dark place. That is the behavior of someone who was not happy in their life. And I think you just have to chalk it up to that. She also is the one that's like, I'll plan the bachelorette party. I'll plan the alcohol-fueled night out. You're saying she met this guy there?
She met her at the bachelorette party that she planned. Yeah.
She met him. Right.
Yeah.
You guys are already two different kinds of women, and you plan like the classy bridal shower, nice and easy. There's violins, and she's like, the new Jaeger bombs. That's it's immature. You're in your early 20s, like fucking whatever. That's a young girl, dumb, immature thing to do. And you're in an unhappy relationship and it's not right, but consider the context. My question is, did she leave her boyfriend of, 5 months? Is that what you said?
5 years. Who was at the wedding.
5 years.
So, okay.
Yeah. This girl's been dating this guy since she was a teenager. He was she made a dumb girl mistake. It's gross. Whatever. Is she still with him? Is she now with the guy she's left with? Does she have other behaviors that are this inconsiderate? Did she ever what? I'm in the middle of
I'm sorry.
pontificating. No, you go. It's your
I'm
podcast.
just the wedding venue is 2.5 hours from where they all lived. This guy she cheated with is 10 minutes from the wedding venue. So I think it makes our question asker even more irate that she was in the area not helping. Mm-hmm. But what makes
it's trash. It's a trash move.
What makes me irate is that
irate?
Yeah, is that you had to
you don't even know these people's names.
12 hours of work to get this wedding venue ready. A maid of honor, look, you're a good friend, you're supporting her, but I don't think of the bridal party as just free labor. That to me is insane. She clearly was trying to save money. She didn't hire anyone. That's a lot of work to do for someone else's event. Like, again, this is not your job. It's nice of you to do, but to expect the friend to be there working 12 hours to help set up a wedding, I wouldn't want to do that either.
They had their wedding in a barn. So she really may not have had and you're getting married 2 hours away. Like this friend may not have had anything, and you stepped up, and what's done is done. And you know what? That's the kind of person you are.
Yeah.
I think we're vilifying her. Like you just wanted to save money. Even if she did, is that the worst thing ever? It says nothing about you. It says everything about that friend, her immature, the maid of honor, her immaturity, where she was in life. And you can't get past it because you feel taken advantage of. And you're also annoyed that the friend that you did all of this for is like, oh, I'm pissed too, but I don't know what to say. The bigger issue is between her and this maid of honor who monumentally let her down. Yeah. I would chalk it up to, I was there for my friend. I was a good friend. I did her a favor. This says everything about me. And you never have to pay attention to the other girl who you can kind of just take pity on. Just did dumb girl, immature shit. I don't even know if it's like you were I said a dark place, but like when I hear the age, I'm just like, I don't know, like young girls do dumb things.
Yeah.
If you ever have to do something else with her, like you can just choose to not be in a space with her, not take a girls trip with her. And if you do, you can be like, it's weird. She like owes you an apology, but doesn't.
Right. Cause it's not
but you don't,
bride.
Why do you have to see her?
8 times a year. I assume at get-togethers at the friend's house. Here's the thing.
Well, then I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
Then you got to say something to her. Be like, I just want you to know, like, it would be more like, is it making you uncomfortable? And when you see her, you just be like, I want to let you know, like, I thought that was a trashy move. And I think, and that was garbage. And then she'll cry and be like, well, I was leaving a thing. And then you'll feel bad. So I think your micro issue is really with your friend who doesn't have the fucking balls to talk to the friend that slighted her. Because it became your problem.
I think I'm irate at this because I really understand it and that I feel a real kinship with this question asker. And I get very frustrated when...
Why? Because you helped me on my wedding day
when
all my friends were shitty? Okay.
No, because in general...
Help me go to the bathroom?
In general, I think I will go above and beyond, and it makes me mad that other people aren't doing that. And it shouldn't, because me being there at work or for a friend or whatever should just be a reflection on my relationship with that person. But I get really mad that even at work, like, you know, when some people just don't do shit and you're like, how am I carrying this? This person's getting paid more than me. They're not doing shit. It's like, okay, that doesn't affect me. At the end of the day,
at the end of the day, you know who you are.
Yeah.
I used to do these in-home workouts, and the trainer on the app, like when you're in like your 5th set of lunges, she'd be like, you've been here before, you know where you're going.
Oh.
And like if I had to add something, it was like, because when you're just like, I got it, she's like, you've been there before, you know who you are. You know who you are.
Yeah.
You are the kind of person that helps.
And you're going to do it again.
And you're going to do it again. And even if that other friend did help, you still are you probably would have helped more to show how great you are. You know who you are.
Yeah.
You're the person that helps. It sucks the other person doesn't, but it doesn't diminish anything. It's frustrating, but you're still going to be who you are. So I think it's just more that you've lost a little bit of respect for your friend.
Yeah.
Okay.
Top of the cob.
It's the top of the cob. We're doing it right every day. You just take a bite. Top of the cob.
I got a light one. this year. Ooh,
start with top or bottom.
We'll start with the bottom because we can end on a high note.
Okay.
My bottom of the cob is halloumi, the cheese. It is not great. It is not as great as cheddar or as like a Mexican mix.
Smoked Gouda.
Smoked Gouda. And when we were living in New Zealand for a month, it was on everything. It's a little squeaky. It's not really that creamy.
I don't like that word to go with cheese at all. That makes me feel bad.
Ooh, I like a cheese curd. But I will tell you, like, I don't trust the cheese that doesn't melt. And they're like, it's grilled halloumi. I'm like, it should melt. And people use it on everything. And when they're like, it's halloumi. I'm like, oh, so you just wanted people to have kind of a shitty time? It goes on everything. And I don't know who did the marketing for it, but it's not great.
It's the inferior, like, burrata. Like, if I get a random item with some burrata on it, I'm like, ooh, what a treat. But if there's halloumi, I'm like, why? What is happening?
I'm like, where can I put this? I think people are brainwashed into eating it, and I'm not into it. All right, that's my bottom of the cup.
Okay, bottom of the cup from a fan is a tale that just shocked me. When you have a date night, a rare event because adulting is done with your husband, you feel confident
Don't
rocking it.
say adulting. Guys, this is why people hate us millennials. Go on.
Rocking it in your outfit. Your color abused hair has cooperated more than it has in your 50 plus years. Okay, so this person's
not
a millennial.
Well, you're not a millennial. Okay.
Maybe the best hair day ever. You nail your eye makeup, also a rare event, and then it happens. You proceed to unleash the biggest sneeze ever, either during or immediately after mascara application, not only ruining your eye makeup, but also your face, and somehow managed to get mascara in your hair. WTF, did that come out of my nose? Did what came out of my nose also ricochet off my still wet eyelashes into my hair? I just rocked the Alice Cooper look we made happy hour, no problem. Love the pod so much. Me and my Great Dane Moxie enjoyed on our Wednesday morning walks before work. It's my favorite. Y'all are the best, Natalie.
Natalie, we love you. I think you had a seizure. It should not be that violent that it ruins your face. All right, what's yours?
My bottom of the cob is when you have something you want to work on, like creatively, but you have no willpower. Like there's a couple of things I want to do outside of work, like hobby wise. And I'm just like, yeah, I need to get into that. I want to do that. I want to do new series on my podcast, but that's too much work. Like you're excited for the idea of it, but the execution is just not going to happen. And that's like a sad in-between space to be in.
Oh, so your bottom of the cob is just life? Is just existence in general?
Just existence, yeah.
Tell you what, get you a cup of black coffee and go to work. That'll do it. It will do it. Because the sugar's making you crash. You can just get a steady stream of caffeine. I drank a lot of coffee yesterday and my Pilates workout wasn't enough and I just had to dance around the room for like 15 full minutes.
I have this idea for like a interview series I want to do. I have this idea for I just have a few different things where I'm like, ooh, I could put time into that and like get something out of it. But the idea of sitting down and putting time, instead I lay on my bed and scroll on my phone and play puzzles.
We all do it. And I will tell you, if it is something that is meant to be, you will hit a wall procrastination wise and you'll be like, I've got to do it. Like I feel that way about art and like writing where like I put it off, and then I just do it. Like it just one day your brain's like, enough. Top of the cob.
Yeah.
We'll do a fan top, then you top, then me top.
Top of the cob. Hello, Iliza and Emily. My top of the cob is that my fiance and I now share our own top and bottom of the cobs nearly every day. It's been a fun way to catch up with one another and debrief about how we're feeling. It's brought us so much connection. I'm so grateful for that segment of the podcast and the podcast itself. Thank you so much for all the laughs. Sincerely, Anais.
Anais. I love that name. Thought about naming my daughter that if it is the same name, the Cuban author. I love that. Incorporate me into your everyday lives. Emily?
Do you want a regular top or like a really disgusting top? How safe is this space?
The gross one.
Okay,
Always.
it's really horrible. But you know when you really have to go to the bathroom?
Like just now, which is why we paused, but the audience couldn't tell. Oh, okay.
For number 2.
And
you finally do. And you finally feel relief after you've been not feeling good all day.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, oh, finally, freedom.
This is it. This is why our podcast is not number 1. That's your top of the cob, taking a shit, Emily?
Yeah. Well,
the sweet relief?
Not taking a regular shit, but like when you don't feel well. And then it really, you know when it really rockets out?
Yeah. Or like when you're sick and like you finally like have a sick poop and you're like, oh, there goes the illness.
Yes. Where you're like, it feels like you've been cleansed. Like, oh, I can go back about my day. I'm okay now.
So,
you get a second wind, a new lease on life.
I'm going to tell you something. Your organs are failing. You need to drink more water. Your poop should never be like rocket out liquid unless you truly are ill.
No, I'm talking like this is so relatively solid that just finally comes out. Like it was
falls out of your butthole. Yeah, it was jammed in there. Yeah. Okay. No, Emily, you're the only one ever. You're gross. I didn't just do that now when we paused the podcast. My top of the cob, we had Father's Day and our block did like a cookout, like all the just a couple of families that we all like to hang out with. And my top of the cob is being able to walk home after a party and then like taking a shower, rinsing off, and just like sitting on the couch and being like, we went to the party, but now we're home and cozy and watching TV, but we're full because I had 2 hot dogs. I'm just here now. Just like the comfort of like walking home to a party. I have to go to the bathroom again. I'm sorry. It's funny that your thing was about pooping because I was like, oh my God, I have to go to the bathroom. And the first time I left in the middle of this top of the cob to go to the bathroom. I think I was like, oh, she probably just thought I had to pee, even though I pooped really quickly. And then it came back and I was like, I really wasn't done because Friday night I ate pizza late night. When else did I have a hamburger? I feel like I've had hamburgers 2 nights in a row and pizza. Like I'm just.
And you had hot dogs.
Garbage disposal. Yeah. And then I just had like a lot of coffee this morning. I'm okay now, so I can finish the last 30 seconds of this podcast. I'm not going to lie. I really had to go to the bathroom. And I was like, do I just like grin and bear it and like kind of listen to what she's saying and just get through this? No, I'm here.
That's
I'm ready
the
to be present.
worst. That's the worst when you're like, how am I going to get through this conversation?
And like we all act like it's like you just assume people have to pee. Like, no, people are taking a shit like all the time.
Well, I'm glad. Yeah, I had 3 potential bottom of the cobs, but clearly this one was meant to be today. I mean, top of the cobs, but this one was meant to be today because it is one day. Soon you'll feel better.
That was like DEFCON 1. Like, all right. So that's it. We did it. Me getting home after a party.
Yeah.
Where I ate a hot dog and a hamburger and a chili pie, a Frito pie. Okay.
I do think that's the one piece of like when we look at like a Leave It to Beaver life or whatever, I think that's what we're missing is just the idea that you could kind of wander out and like go to another beautiful home and share a meal and then wander back home and it's all in your neighborhood. Like that's the kind of suburbia that I feel like we're all missing out on.
I think also when you have kids, like a lot of people on our block have kids and there are the moms that like put it together and it was idyllic. Like Sierra, there was one other girl, she was a little bit older, but like Sierra was just like playing on a scooter and all the boys were like violently playing baseball. I was just like, there's a lot of bats. Like there's a lot of like child army weapons happening here. But it was just lovely. It was, one kid was just beating the shit out of one of those like slow down children playing signs. It was just very Americana. Like everyone was playing a sport. We were just like hanging out. It was really nice. Like we live in a very difficult city, but like moments like that, you're like, oh, everything feels okay for now.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. New Jersey's like, that's how it is all the time in the neighborhood. It was nice. You get a few moments if you couldn't stop to remember every once in a while where you're like, this is pretty nice.
So. Yeah.
We got our 300th episode coming up. We're going to be releasing details about how to get tickets for it. We're going to be doing it live. We're going to be doing it in person in Los Angeles. Very excited. And tickets for my tour. We added a show in Salt Lake City. We added a show in New Orleans. We've added shows in New York. Get your tickets. If you don't see your city on there, it's because I was just there, and this might be your only chance for a little bit to see me. So come on out.
When does your new merch start hitting cities? Do you know what city?
New merch will be at the first city on the tour, which I believe is in Oregon. So,
all right.
Well, the first city is Indianapolis, but that's really a charity event. So I won't, that's tacky to like be like, also, I know we're trying to cure cancer. Yeah, but I've got t-shirts for sale. So come on out. Tickets at Iliza.com/tour. Bring a friend. Make a thing of it. Got tickets for Las Vegas. We got everything through the end of the year. Like there's something else I'm supposed to plug. Oh yeah, this podcast. And listen to this podcast.
Plug this podcast literally anywhere else, Liza. Not
plug
here.
It.
High Five Casino lets you play your favorite slot and live table games like blackjack with the chance to redeem for real cash prizes. High Five Casino has a giant selection of over 1,200 games, including hundreds of exclusive games only found on High Five Casino. It's always free to play, and free coins are given out every 4 hours. Ready to have your own high five moment? Visit highfivecasino.com. That's casino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. Must be 21 years or older. Terms and conditions apply.